These are prophetic signs that point to your season of breakthrough as the chosen one. When you are nearing a major spiritual transformation, God begins to move pieces around you, preparing the way for the next level of your journey with every step you take. Signs start to appear like divine indicators that your time has come. Let's explore each of these signs in depth, understanding how they apply to the lives of those chosen to carry God's light. 1. When people leave your life. One of the first signs that a breakthrough is coming is the departure of people from your life. It can be painful, and often you don't understand why someone close decides to leave, whether through betrayal, misunderstanding, or simply the natural course of life. However, as a chosen one, you must realize that this is part of God's divine plan for your growth. Just like Abraham, who had to part ways with Lot to hear God's voice again, you may be surrounded by people who unknowingly are blocking your spiritual breakthrough. The time of those relationships has expired, and God is preparing new alliances. New Horizons. Abraham was called alone, and his walk with God was solitary to a certain extent. When Lot accompanied him, it temporarily interrupted the direct communication between Abraham and God. This episode shows us how often spiritual progress requires separation. Some relationships that were once fruitful may become obstacles to your growth. It's a powerful reminder that as the chosen one, you must be willing to leave the old behind to move forward into the new. When you see people distancing themselves instead of falling into despair, see this as an opportunity for renewal. Remember that God will never leave you alone. The departure of these people can open space for divine connections that will propel you toward your prophetic destiny. Therefore, when you feel certain people are moving away, keep your faith firm, because this may be the beginning of a new season of spiritual breakthrough. 2. An irresistible urge to pray. Another clear sign that your breakthrough is near is a sudden and irresistible urge to pray. This doesn't happen by chance. As the chosen one, the Holy Spirit starts moving you in prayer with more intensity, especially during the early morning hours between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m. If you find yourself waking up at this time spontaneously, know that God is calling you for a moment of deep intimacy. Often, you may not understand why, but it is in the silence of the dawn that great spiritual battles are being won. Prayer is the key to opening doors that were once closed. As the chosen one, your prayer carries a spiritual weight that can change destinies. When God wakes you in the middle of the night, He is inviting you to stand in the gap. Remember that your prayer is not just for you, it impacts generations. Just as Hannah prayed for Samuel, not knowing her prayer would bring forth a prophet for Israel, your prayers may be paving the way for something much greater than you imagine. Do not ignore this call. Many fall into the temptation of postponing or neglecting these moments. But as the chosen one, you must be sensitive to the Spirit's direction. When prayer becomes a light and constant burden, know that this is one of the clearest signs that something great is about to happen. Embrace this moment, because your prayer is activating forces in the spiritual realm, moving mountains and preparing the stage for your breakthrough. 3. Facing temptation. When your breakthrough is about to happen, you will begin to face temptations more frequently. This happens because the enemy recognizes the potential emerging in your life and tries to prevent you from reaching your destiny. As the chosen one, your light shines brightly, and the kingdom of darkness will do everything to extinguish it. Temptations will come subtly, perhaps in moments of weakness or distraction, but it is important to remember that every temptation overcome is a step closer to your breakthrough. See this as a spiritual battle. The enemy knows he is losing ground as you advance toward your divine purpose. So he launches distractions and temptations your way, but as someone called by God, you have the power to resist. Temptation is not just an obstacle. It's an opportunity to grow in strength and discernment. When you resist temptation, you demonstrate your faithfulness to God and your willingness to fulfill the call He has placed on your life. Remember Paul's words, "No temptation has overtaken you except what is common to mankind, and God is faithful. He will not let you be tempted beyond what you can bear." As the chosen one, this truth applies directly to you. Your temptations are not just tests, they are opportunities to demonstrate God's power in your life, and every time you overcome them, the enemy is defeated and you move closer to fulfilling your destiny. 4. Receiving confirmations. Another powerful sign that your breakthrough is near is receiving confirmations, whether through dreams, prophetic words, or unexpected messages from others. Sometimes you may receive these confirmations repeatedly, as if the universe itself is conspiring to remind you of what's coming. These confirmations can be simple, like a phrase you read, a verse you hear at church, or even something someone says seemingly unrelated to your situation, but that touches your spirit deeply. These confirmations serve as reminders that you are on the right path and that the breakthrough is approaching. They can also come in prophetic dreams where you see yourself overcoming obstacles, climbing mountains, or navigating calm waters. These dreams are divine visions, showing that you are walking toward victory as the chosen one. God communicates with you in many ways, and these confirmations are His way of encouraging and strengthening you. Pay attention to these messages because they are divine gifts to keep you steadfast in faith, even when everything around you seems uncertain. These confirmations serve as spiritual anchors, keeping your heart aligned with God's purpose for your life. Sometimes it may take hearing the same message multiple times before you fully understand it. When these confirmations start to appear, be alert, because your breakthrough is closer than you think. 5. You feel and know it. There are moments when, even without an external word or visible sign, you simply know that something big is about to happen. It's an internal conviction, a certainty that goes beyond reason and logic. As the chosen one, you are attuned to the divine plan in a unique way, and this spiritual sensitivity allows you to sense when a breakthrough is on the horizon. You may not be able to explain this feeling to others, but within you there is a silent peace and expectation. This feeling that something is about to change is one of the deepest signs that God is preparing the ground for your victory. And this certainty often comes accompanied by acts of generosity, an uncontrollable desire to help others and to give of yourself. You feel that you are on the verge of a new season, and this feeling fills you with hope and strength. Even if the circumstances around you suggest otherwise, your soul knows that the breakthrough is near. In these moments, it is important to keep your faith and trust in God. Do not let distractions or difficulties divert you from this certainty. God is working behind the scenes, moving things that you cannot yet see or understand. But as the chosen one, you have this spiritual sensitivity that allows you to feel God's move before it fully manifests in the physical world. Embrace this feeling and let it guide your actions and decisions. 6. Seeing prophetic numbers, a powerful and often mysterious sign that many chosen ones begin to notice as the breakthrough approaches is the repetition of certain prophetic numbers. These numbers appear in various ways, in dreams, daily life, or seemingly random moments, but with a frequency that cannot be ignored if you are seeing these numbers repeatedly. It is not mere coincidence. These numbers carry deep spiritual significance and symbolize direct communication from God to you. In the Bible, numbers have profound meanings and are used to express divine messages. One of the most powerful numbers is 7, which represents perfection, totality, and divine completion. God created the world in 6 days and rested on the 7th, making the number 7 the symbol of God's complete and perfect work. When you start seeing the number 7 repeatedly, it may be a sign that God is completing a work in your life, closing old cycles, so a new one can begin. Another common number is 12, often associated with spiritual government and authority. The 12 tribes of Israel and the 12 apostles of Christ are clear examples of the importance of the number 12 in God's plan. When the number 12 appears in your life, it may indicate that you are being prepared to exercise authority in a new area of your life, or that God is bringing order to something that was previously disorganized. It can be a call to position yourself and take up a leadership role, both in the spiritual realm and in the physical world. The number 40 also appears many times in Scripture, symbolizing a period of testing, trial, and preparation. Moses spent 40 days and 40 nights on Mount Jesus, fasted for 40 days in the desert, and the Israelites wandered for 40 years before entering the Promised Land. If you are seeing the number 40 frequently, this may be a sign that you are going through a period of transition and testing and that a time of preparation is coming to an end. God is preparing you for a great breakthrough, And the number 40 is reminding you that after the test comes victory. If you have started to notice these numbers appearing repeatedly in your life, do not ignore this. They are signs that God is ordering your steps and aligning events for your breakthrough to happen in perfect time as the chosen one. You are in tune with spiritual movements, and numbers are a tangible way for God to communicate that something important is about to happen. The repetition of prophetic numbers is a constant reminder that God's plan is unfolding. Even if you can't yet see the full picture, these numbers can appear at unexpected times on license plates on your watch and serial numbers, or even in your daily interactions. Each time you see these numbers, they serve as a sign that God is working in the background, aligning people's circumstances and opportunities so that you can reach the next level of your spiritual journey. These prophetic numbers don't appear by chance. They are God's way of getting your attention and reminding you that His timing is perfect in the Bible. We see several examples of God's timing. The liberation of the Israelites from Egypt, for example, happened at the perfect time. After 400 years of slavery, the birth of Jesus happened exactly as predicted in the prophecies. Likewise, God has a specific time for His advance. The repeated appearance of these numbers serves as a reminder that the divine clock is ticking and that God's time for your life is fast approaching. As you see these numbers, allow yourself to meditate on what they mean and ask God for discernment to understand what He is communicating. Don't rush or despair if things aren't clear. Yet God is orchestrating everything in perfect harmony, and the numbers are visible signs that He is in control. Each number carries a specific message, and it's up to you as the chosen one to seek the revelation of what God is saying in each situation. Seeing these numbers over and over again is a tangible sign that the breakthrough is near. 7 challenges. One of the most unmistakable signs that your breakthrough is near is the emergence of challenges. When you are on the brink of a great victory, the enemy will do everything to divert you from your path. Often these challenges come unexpectedly and intensely, like storms that appear out of nowhere. However, as the chosen one, you must understand that these challenges are a test of your faith and perseverance. When Jesus was about to deliver the demon-possessed man in the land of the Gaden, a furious storm tried to prevent him from reaching his destination. In the same way, when you are about to cross over to the other side, challenges will arise. These challenges are not a sign that you are on the wrong path, but rather a confirmation that you are exactly where you need to be. The enemy will try to create obstacles to make you give up, but remember that the victory has already been promised. Each challenge is an opportunity to strengthen your faith and trust in God. No matter how fierce the storm may seem, you must keep moving forward, knowing that the other side holds your liberation. Furthermore, these challenges often reveal the true power you carry as the chosen one. It is in the midst of adversity that you discover new strengths, spiritual gifts, and abilities. The enemy only launches his greatest attacks against those who are about to do great things for God's kingdom. So when challenges arise, stand firm in faith, knowing that every obstacle you overcome brings you closer to your breakthrough. 8. Outgrowing your current space. Another sign that your breakthrough is near is when you start feeling that you have outgrown your current space. Whether physically, emotionally, or spiritually, you may start feeling discomfort in your job, your home, or your community. This discomfort is not something negative, but a sign that God is calling you to something greater. Just as an eagle pushes its young out of the nest when they are ready to fly, God may be moving you out of your comfort zone so that you can reach new levels of growth and impact. This discomfort may manifest as a feeling that you no longer fit where you are. What once brought you satisfaction now feels small and restrictive. You begin to have a deep desire for something more, something that aligns with the greater purpose God has for you. This is a sign that God is about to move you into a new season of advancement and growth. As the chosen one, you are called to grow constantly. And this discomfort is the catalyst for the next level, when you begin to feel that your current space has become too small for the calling God has for you. Do not be afraid. This is a sign that promotion is on the way. God is expanding your vision and preparing you to enter new territory. He is about to take you to new places where you will be able to fully exercise the gifts and talents He has deposited in you. Embrace this change, knowing that God is moving you to a place of greater impact and influence. 9. Rejection. Rejection is one of the most difficult yet most revealing signs that your breakthrough is near. Just as Joseph was rejected by his own brothers, you may experience rejection from people who were once by your side. This can be extremely painful, but as the chosen one, you must view rejection from a new perspective. Often rejection is God's way of redirecting you to the right place. Joseph was rejected by his brothers, sold into slavery, unjustly imprisoned. But all of this was part of God's divine plan to place him in a position of power in Egypt. Had he not been rejected, he would never have reached the purpose God had for his life. Similarly, when you face rejection, understand that it may be a sign that God is moving you to where he wants you to be. Rejection may be painful, but it can also be the catalyst for your breakthrough as the chosen one. You should not be disheartened by rejection. Instead, see it as an opportunity to reposition yourself and realign with God's purpose. Those who reject you, you may be inadvertently helping you to reach the destiny God has planned for you. Just as Joseph was rejected today, that rejection may be opening the way for your promotion tomorrow. 10. When everything seems to be falling apart. The last and often the most difficult of the prophetic signs that your breakthrough is near is when it seems like everything around you is falling apart. This is one of the most challenging moments that a chosen one can face because everything you have built or believed in may seem to be crumbling. The feeling of loss, confusion, and chaos can be overwhelming, and it is easy to ask, why is this happening to me if I'm on the right path? However, as the chosen one, you must understand that this period of turmoil is actually a clear sign that God is preparing to move you to a new level. It's important to remember that often before a great promotion or spiritual breakthrough, there is a process of purification. This process, although painful, is essential for you to enter the new season of your life with a renewed heart, mind, and spirit. What seems to be falling apart is actually God removing everything that no longer serves the purpose He has for you. Just as gold is refined by fire, you are being purified, to shine more brightly on the other side of this trial. The enemy knows that he is about to lose his influence over you, so he tries to throw every spiritual weapon to destabilize your faith. This can manifest as financial crises, health problems, broken relationships, or even a sense of utter despair. He tries to make you believe that everything is out of control and that there is no solution in sight. But as the chosen one, you must see beyond the chaos and realize that this is the moment when your faith is being tested and strengthened. What seems like the end is actually the prelude to a new beginning. Remember the story of Job, a man upright and just in God's eyes. He was blessed with a prosperous family, health, wealth, and respect, but suddenly everything was taken from him. Job lost his children, his wealth, and his health all in a very short period. His friends and even his wife began to question his faith and suggested that he curse God and give up. However, Job remained faithful, even in the midst of the greatest suffering he could imagine. The critical point of Job's story is that despite everything seeming to fall apart, God was watching his faith and resilience. Job's suffering was not in vain. It was preparation for something much greater. In the end, God restored everything that Job had lost and doubled it. The story of Job teaches us that the period of breakdown is actually fertile ground for restoration. It is when everything seems to be lost that God begins to work behind the scenes, preparing something far greater than you can imagine. This feeling that everything is falling apart around you is actually preparation for a reconstruction on a much higher level. God is allowing certain things to be removed from your life, not to punish you, but to build something new and stronger. He may be removing toxic relationships, opportunities that do not align with His purpose, or even your dependence on material things that in the end limit you. What seems to be destruction is actually liberation. God is creating space for something new, something that perfectly aligns with His plan for your life. This period of breakdown can be incredibly difficult because you often cannot see what is being built on the other side. All you see is what is being lost. However, it is in this moment that faith is forged most deeply as the chosen one. You must keep your faith strong even when everything around you seems to be falling apart. God is in control, even when it seems that everything is out of control. Control He is using these situations to prepare you for your breakthrough. And the more you persevere, the closer you are to seeing the complete plan. This moment of chaos is not the end. It is the prelude to your greatest triumph. Just as at the beginning of creation, when the earth was formless and empty, and darkness covered the deep, God was about to speak and bring into existence everything that is